over the weekend, I got to go apple picking. It was one of the last warm weekends of the year. Now, during the time that I went apple picking, I got to try out this, which is my son's GoPro Hero 9. And it was fun because I got to do a comparison with the Canon M50. Check it out. Okay, so this Hero 9 is pretty cool. It's got a lot of cool features. One of the things I wanted to know is, would it be helpful, doing a vlog, let's say, or using it as a webcam, or when I'm off out and about? One of the problems I have with the Canon M50 is when I go to pan, no matter how slow I get, it really doesn't come out well. I'll show you some examples in a little bit. That way, if I use this to pan, I might get a much better result. Spoiler, I actually did, but you'll be able to see this in a second. Of course, I'll have an in conclusion on usages for this. But first, let's take a look at the test. Here's an example of a panning shot that I did when I was out west, living in a pop-up camper for 30 days. I took some panning shots with the Canon M50, and this is the result that I got. And it's kind of cool, right? But it has this lag, and I know there's a better definition or technical definition for this, but I'm just a normal guy, So I'm just going to use the normal definition, latency, basically. So it basically goes across and it kind of, it doesn't shutter, but it has that effect. And so what I wanted to do is see if this will fix that. And in fact, it does. Check it out. I've got two different examples of panning with the Canon M50 and then with this GoPro Hero 9. How you can just basically pan down. And I got this one shot. I basically took this little hack where I have this monopod right here, and it extends out a bunch. And then I have this selfie stick, and I was able to connect the selfie stick and the monopod together. So I had this super long extension, and it actually worked out really well. Because this thing has three different. There's a monopod. I love it. It actually holds it goes quite a lot. And I'll typically use this monopod to hold the Canon M50 while I'm talking. Now it's on a tripod. But this comes in really well and handy. And I also use this on one of the tests, which I'll show you in a second, where I threw the Canon M50 on this Zhiyun Crane M2. And I ended up testing it as in a vlogging style setup. And I'll show you that in a second. But it was kind of cool because, see, what happens is when you do this by itself, it's kind of short. And if you look, there's actually some products you can get that as an extender. But guess what? What works as an extender is this monopod. So I actually use this monopod, which actually gives you a greater length and more versatile than just, not as fancy looking as the carbon, piece that you can get for like $25. But it's a lot more versatile, and I use it so I end up using it for different things. So what was cool, though, is to see that result. Putting the Canon M50 versus, a GoPro Hero 9 when you're walking, of course it's going to win. It's got the hyper smooth stabilization 3.0, right? So, of course, it's going to win. But when you put the M50 on here, you have actually a contender. And it's really kind of interesting to see. So the next test, let's go ahead and check it out. This is walking and talking, vlogging style, and you'll be able to hear the audio difference using the Canon M50 and this Zhiyun against the GoPro Hero 9. Check it out. So this is, trying to do this, I'm doing a little hack. And basically I have this on a monopod so that I can go out further because I realized that for the most part, it doesn't go out far enough. So this is the Canon M50, and this is doing a quick test with the stabilizer. This is a little bit easier, and this is the GoPro, and this is, again, basically arm's length. Have the other one right here, and this is what it kind of looks like, and it sounds like. So if you were to do some vlogging, if you're walking and talking, this is basically what you would get. It's kind of late in the evening, so I'm expecting that to lower light, you know, the Canon M50 might do better. Now, both of these, to note, are on auto, meaning there's no, you can dial in a little bit different with the Canon M50, but these are basically both on auto setting and nothing altered in any way. It's basically raw, so to speak. So that's what the GoPro 9 looks like, walking and talking, vlogging. Okay, so now, now that you've got those, I also wanted to do a webcam test. Oh, that's really cool. It does a webcam. Let's go ahead and pit it against the Canon M50 because I thought, I'm like, the footage on this is awesome. I'm betting the webcam is going to be awesome too. Not so much. And let me show you why. Webcam footage with the Canon M50 is basically like what you're seeing right here. I'm actually using Ecamm Live to record this. I just find it a lot easier. I can see myself. I can pull in different scenes and stuff like that. So I actually use it. So this is an example of but I'll show another example side by side so you can see it. But you end up having to get a little bit of software that's free to make this work as a webcam. And supposedly, I didn't know this, but you can do that with the Hero 8 too. But when you put it on, well, let me show you the result. Here is the GoPro as a webcam. Okay, so this is really cool. This is basically looking at the GoPro 9. Now, I'm active with the GoPro 9 right now. And now I'm going to switch to the Canon M50. Pretty cool, right? It was kind of finicky to use with the Ecamm Live. But what happens is with the GoPro itself, which is now we're going with the Canon M50, the GoPro itself, you turn that on, you go to preview mode, okay? And once you're in preview mode, you turn that off and you go to turn on Ecamm Live, and then you can do it. But if you turn on Ecamm Live first and then go to it, it won't work. So it's just finicky that way. I imagine that'll get ironed out eventually. But pretty cool, right? I mean, I actually, would have to set this up a bit differently. There is some previews. The digital lens, you can do wide. You can do digital lens. You can do narrow. Ooh, narrow. That's much better. Okay, let's do narrow. Okay, so here's the GoPro. Here's the GoPro. Okay, with narrow view, and now here's the Canon M50. What do you think? Between the two, what do you think? GoPro, Canon M50. GoPro, Canon M50. GoPro, Canon M50. You do that all day long, right? I think it's pretty cool. But what I'm going to be trying to do is making some, because I'm using auto mode with the M50, and I think I can go in there and really tweak that. You can't really tweak much with the GoPro. I mean, basically this is it. I mean, it's really cool. But, the view you get, I think I like the Canon M50 better. Now, I could mess around with this with the GoPro, because the GoPro doesn't do well in low light, and really I could, the cord that it comes with isn't that long, so I'm not going to get a very good look unless I do some messing around. So this is just at the default and kind of like what I could do. So since I'm doing with low light, my Canon M50 I think does much better, but it's still pretty cool that you can use a GoPro and go with live streaming. I mean, that's awesome. And so basically you could do another camera view. So this is pretty cool. I thought this was pretty cool. And so I was just showing this to you. Okay, so it seemed a bit weird. So I thought I'd go ahead and give it a try out of Ecamm Live. And this is the preview. I'm just doing a screen recording of the preview that you get. You just use the software that comes basically for the GoPro. So you can see kind of what it's like. And I still am not too impressed. I'd much rather use the Canon M50 than this for streaming. But it's still, it is what it is. I think a lot of it is because it's in low light. But, a lot of people end up recording in low light because, they're in a little office or they've done a little setup for the desk. Now, it also has this glitchy, like every once in a while it just gets a little glitchy, and that might be my computer. I don't know. But it seems like my consensus is if you wanted to use this for a webcam, probably not. In fact, Yeah, not impressive, right? I wouldn't use it as a webcam. I would actually use a C920, the C920 I've talked about in other videos, over the Hero 9. Now, they might do some updates to make this look better, but I even went in and I thought, oh, well, maybe it's my settings. And so I'll do some different settings. And I tried it at different settings, and guess what? It came out with the same result. But I did get some good footage, and what I'm going to be doing is doing some other tests, because the initial tests were just out of the box, and I really didn't get to I haven't gotten a chance to play with the Hero 9 that much yet. So I'm really excited, though, the potential of what you can do with this. I think the two cameras work well together. Like, I don't think the GoPro Hero 9 replaces a Canon M50 in terms of, interviewing, let's say, or doing webcam, or I actually thought the vlogging was better with the Canon M50 than it was with the Hero. The Hero 9 is an action cam. That's where it shines. And you've got all these things you can do with it that you wouldn't do with the Canon M50. And it's much easier to take with you. Going and doing these action sequences, or getting the cool B-roll that you really wouldn't want to kind of like jeopardize your regular camera, or it's just too heavy. Like when I put this on the selfie stick and the monopod, that extension was great. I can get up there, way up there, and it gave me a chance to basically come smoothly down. Now, I couldn't do that with the Canon M50 because it's too heavy. The weight would just be too much to do effectively. So that's where it shines. So I think the GoPro Hero 9 is worth it. If you don't have something that can give you B-roll. Now, the reason I do think that is that I suspect, and this is just opinion obviously, but I suspect that if you look at footage, a lot of people are using the footage that people will put out there. You can subscribe to Storyblocks and there's some others like ArtGrid, and you can subscribe to those. But what ends up happening is that a lot of people end up using those footage, and then that footage becomes almost like stock footage, meaning people recognize that same footage around, and then it doesn't feel as special when they see it on your channel and you see it combining together. I mean, it's still really cool what you can do with the footage, and it's still fun to use that, but I suspect going forward, in order to stand out a bit more, it's going to be important to really get your own B-roll, and one way to do that is really by using an action cam, and that's where the Hero GoPro 9 really shines, is as an action cam. So I'm excited to see what else I can do with this, and to basically, move stories forward, and really give an element that I can't get with the Canon M50. And it'll be fun to do some different challenges with it. Again, to propel a story forward or propel a video forward, you really need some other elements in there. So in the end, if you're getting this as a webcam, forget about it. If you're getting this to vlog and you don't have anything else, it's excellent, works great. But if you have a Canon M50 and something to stabilize with, nah. But if you don't have anything to stabilize your Canon M50, yes, definitely. When you're using this to get B-roll and out and about, you can get some really cool shots and different ways to like swing the GoPro about, all the things you can do with regular GoPro in an action sequence that gives you footage you really just can't get. Even like, you have the iconic thing that Peter McKinnon did, where he put the GoPro inside the bag of coffee beans. Even just doing something as simple as that, you're not going to do that with a Canon M50. So it's getting those unusual shots, or getting a mount for it that's a magnetic mount, or all these other mounts where you can just basically throw it up there and get some good footage. And although you can do that with the Canon M50, there's a little bit of a weight differential that makes me anyway a little more nervous about doing it. So if you found this helpful, there's some other Canon M50 videos where I pit the Canon M50, different lenses and things. You can check out a playlist here, and there's more to come. So be sure to subscribe if this was helpful for you. Give it a like if it was helpful for you. And thanks a lot for watching. I'll see you next time.
Baby, don't move now. Baby, don't move. Gotta stand still right now, where I can see you. There's a feeling in my heart so strange. Baby, I don't want you to change.